So I kind of wanted to start out talking about Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. And I saw this was a segment with Paul Pierce where he says that Luka Doncic is the most talented player in the NBA.
This kid, clearly he's special, he's a talent. He's probably, to me, he is the most talented player in the NBA today.
A lot of people are misconstruing his take. Not, surprisingly. I mean, I get what he's saying about Luka Doncic. I mean, he has a lot of talent. Obviously, he comes from a great background from Europe, getting MVP, Finals MVP, and then later getting Rookie of the Year, and then he gets this massive jump. I mean, in my opinion, Luka Doncic should be, the most improved player of the year, but they don't want to give it to players that make big leaps in their second year. I don't know why. I mean, Luka Doncic went from averaging 19, 20 points to almost 30. And he's led his team to the playoffs. I mean, if that's not most improved player of the year caliber, then I don't understand what these guys are talking about. I mean, maybe I'll make an argument in another segment, I guess, of why Luka Doncic should win most improved player of the year over Pascal Siakam, but it is what it is, I guess. But he says that he is the most talented player. I guess he's just basing off of all his run. In a way, I do agree. I mean, but at the same time, if you think about who has talent on the par of, I guess, Luka Doncic, I mean, you got to think of guys like Zion Williamson, who has a chance to be a superstar like Luka Doncic. You look at Jason Tatum, Ja Morant. Trae Young has superstar potential as well, but he'll always be hindered by defense. But not in the way that Luka Doncic is hindered in defense. Because the difference is that Luka Doncic has size. You can't really teach size when it comes to defense, but that's a whole nother thing. But how far can Luka Doncic and Porziņģis get the Mavericks? Because I've seen posts about Luka Doncic and Porziņģis being the number one combo in the NBA, and you gotta think to yourself now, are these guys, able to win it all for the Mavericks? In 5 to 6, 7 years, will these guys be in the Western Conference Finals and in contention status? I mean, you gotta think about that stuff. And in my opinion, I'm not sure that these guys are able to, because there's a lot of ifs in this. And that's mainly on Porziņģis. Kristaps Porziņģis has a lot of talent, but how he's being utilized in the Mavericks system is way more predicated to him amplifying Luka Doncic's profile
for them. And again, one thing you have to notice when it comes to Luka is the way the Mavs win is when he shoots the three ball really well. In losses, he shoots the ball 13 percentage points lower from three than in wins, even though his points per game are pretty much the same. So as Luka goes is how the Mavs will go.
Now, when you watch, Porziņģis on the Knicks, right, where he was kind of the focal point, but it was Carmelo Anthony was still, being the black hole that he was.
I got the fucking range. Nope. His franchise has been so good. Anderson
Controlling the offense, but you can see Kristaps Porziņģis had a bunch of talent. They're comparing him to Dirk Nowitzki and stuff. Okay, I don't know, man. This dude, I don't know how long Kristaps Porziņģis can last in the NBA, because there's when you're too big in the NBA, it does a lot of damage to your knees, and there's a lot of what's it called? It's just a lot of wear and tear for people, for big men in general. There's too much wear and tear that they can break down easily. I mean, you see Porziņģis dealing with a bunch of injuries in regards to his lower half of his body. And you just wonder, like, you know, is it possible for this guy to even make it to his peak for him and Luka Doncic to win the championship? And, like, for me, like, just based off of what's going on and how they're being played right now, I don't think they can make it all the way. I could see, like, Western Conference Finals appearances, but, you know, with the way the offense is right now, it's just mainly predicated on Luka Doncic running the offense. And, you know, everyone set up, spread out, and then, you know, Luka Doncic will either drive it in or kick it out to the open man. You know, similar to how, like, you know, like I said, it's like how, like, a lot of players nowadays are being used because of their high usage rate and stuff. I mean, it's the modern NBA where, you know, it's just spread, pick and roll, spread out, you know, get the open three offense. It's the same formula for, like, a bunch of these NBA teams. But, you know, the difference is, you know, certain teams do better because they just have better players. That's basically it. And Luka Doncic, you know, is a great player. So, I mean, for them to go to the next level, they're going to need someone better than what? Tim Hardaway Jr.? Like, what? That's their third best player. Then their fourth best player is, like, what? Like, Seth Curry? Yeah, they're going to need, like a third player to take the ball off of Luka Doncic's hand and have Luka play more off ball. Because, you know, in the NBA, in order to succeed, you need great off ball players, right? I mean, you just look back through all the NBA championships, right? Just look up all the NBA championships. You know, the Raptors, they play Kawhi Leonard, right? Plays great off the ball. Like, he doesn't really need the ball, but when you give him the ball, he can play that dominating ball play style, but he doesn't rely on it. You go back to the previous year, it was basically Kevin Durant, right? Kevin Durant, great off-ball player, can dominate the ball. And then here's the outlier here. You go to LeBron James, right? LeBron James can't play fucking off-ball for shit. Like that's just being real. Like LeBron James has always suffered that play style that's held him back in a way where he just dominates the ball too much, where the team relies on him to be both the passer and the scorer, and just to set everything up, right? Which, you know, no matter how great you are, you know, great teams can stop you. They've done it for great players in the past, right? It just makes the game plan way easier. Well, whereas if you play off ball, you don't even know what's gonna go on. Like, you know, for them to scheme against you, it gets a little trickier now because you have a bunch of off ball movement where, you know, you can act as decoy while other players can get theirs, while you can get yours anytime. Like, stuff like that. That's why, like, LeBron James, like I said, is an outlier. And then you go back to, you know, the Golden State Warriors again, where they have great off-ball players. Now, when you think about it, like, sure, like, the Dallas Mavericks, I get the argument and stuff, like, why you have Luka Doncic dominate the ball like 90% of the time. I get it. You know, he was leading the league. The Dallas Mavericks to, like, the offensive efficiency rating, the highest in history. Like, they're just so efficient scoring the ball under Luka Doncic that, you know, why not continue giving him the ball, right? But, like, look, like, you can't always depend on your player just, like, setting everything up. It's just unsustainable. I mean, you look at the Bucks, right? The Bucks are basically a do or die of Giannis. Like you want to say, like, well, Giannis is like, oh, like, well, look at Giannis's role players. Like, look who's supporting him. Like, yeah, so what? Like, they're the same role players last year. Like, what did they do? They got reversed. They got, like, a gentleman swept with against the Raptors, right? They were up 2, they got 4-0 afterwards. Like, they just figured them out. Like, you just can't go 1 through 5. Like, what is Budenholzer thinking? Like, Chris Middleton couldn't do shit. You know, Bledsoe was like, what's it called? Bledsoe, he was nowhere to be seen, and he was nowhere to be seen at all in the playoffs. Like, that just shows, like, once playoff time comes, like, when you're playing the same great team over and over again, like, dude, you can't just do the same thing and expect, like, something different. That's insanity, bro. Like, you're insane. You're crazy to think that would work after trying to do it over and over again, and you just lost, like, 3 in a row. Like, all right, this is the time. This is the time where, it might work. Like, you crazy, bro. That's what I'm saying. But, like I said, I get the arguments. Luka Doncic, great player, great. But his play style, like, in history, it's not as successful as other previous play styles. Like, you see the play style of, like, Jason Tatum, right? That play style is more conducive to winning championships. Like, it's always has been. Like, great scorers tend to win big. Whereas, he's all around player of, like, rebounds, assists, like, you're like up, like you're doing everything. It's not as successful as others. But, there is still hope, like I said, like Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porziņģis, like, if they can, revamp the offense, have a mixture of Luka Doncic, like, playing off ball while bringing out Porzingis' more offensive outputs instead of, like, just shooting a bunch of threes. Like, look, I get it. Like Kristaps Porzingis was, like, averaging 38% from 3. Like, I get it, but he should be averaging, more points, in the mid range and stuff as well. Like, dude, like, I see Kristaps Porzingis, he can't post up certain players. Like, dude.
Porzingis needs to do this. He needs to get more touches. I'm watching the game, and I've been saying this. He needs to insert himself like a big man. Roll the tape. We all know pick and roll. Been running this since the George Mikan days. When you got a little guy on you roll, what does he decide to do? No, I want to pop out and play like all the other 7-footers in the league. I want to step out and shoot the jumper. But Chuck said he's not getting the ball. Here we go again. I got another little guy. I'm going to roll, but I'm not going to roll to the post. I'm going to roll to the free throw line and shoot this weak little jumper. But in the words of Chuck, I'm not getting the ball. Here you go. Let a little guy push me off the post. Get right here. Take him.
If there is a little guy guarding me, abandon the play. When they switch a little guy on him, am I right? Am I right, Kenny?
No, I get it. I was trying to
go to the post.
We would start screaming, mouse, mouse, mouse. That means a mouse in the house. That means a little guy guarding a big guy. Forget the play. This guy shoots a fadeaway jumper with Lonzo Ball guarding him. He's 7'4". Lonzo Ball's like 6'5", 6'6". Dude, get in the box. And then you see a couple times there, yo, man, I'm open.
That's crazy, man. Like, maybe it's, like I said, it's his lower half is either too weak or something that he just doesn't have strength to push people, and people down to earth are way more, like, I don't know, conducive to, like, gravity or some sort.
You guys just haven't looked into it. That's all it is.
You're
You
watching
guys haven't
YouTube
looked into
videos,
it.
Eddie. There's
I don't know, man. That's just ridiculous. Like, that video of him, like, Cam posting up like a smaller player. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, the Dallas Mavericks are in a good situation though. Like, there's still hope. Like, they just need to get rid of certain players, maybe get a third player to just play more off ball for Luka Doncic. Or no, the other way around. Have Luka Doncic play more off ball. I mean, you would think that, Dennis Smith Jr. would be the player previously because they needed someone to penetrate the offense while having Luka out, spreading the floor as well. And, going from there. But, Luka Doncic was so much better penetrating inside compared to Dennis Smith Jr. that it was like a joke. Like, the Knicks You want Dennis Smith Jr., but you got Kevin Knox instead. Here's Dennis Smith Jr. again. Just give us Porziņģis. And I can't believe the Knicks did it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But for me, like, what is Luka Doncic's position? He's what? Small forward? He's either small forward or shooting guard, but he plays the point guard. Yeah, they need to slide Luka to the small forward and have a point guard and a shooting guard with him. And it should be good. Dude, Luka has size. Yeah. Their championship aspects are limited to their offense as of currently right now. And it's weird to say that, as I said, it's weird to say, but they just need to bring in someone, alleviate some of the pressure off of Luka Doncic for contributing too much, because as of right now, I'm basing this off of the fact that I haven't seen Luka Doncic in the playoffs as well currently, because once you go into playoffs, like this kind of play style he's done in the season, like it's all fine and dandy, but once the playoffs comes where the scheme for you, how are you gonna do it now when the defense collapses upon you when you drive into the paint? Like everything gets more tightened and more better overall because better players, more time to scheme against you. Like, how would you react? This is basically what I need to see first from Luka Doncic. Like, can he do it? Who knows? But like I said, championship aspects currently right now, even though it's early in his career, I would say is limited for the offense right now so far. So if they can revamp it, bring another player in to alleviate it, then I'll make my judgment later. But I think, Luka Doncic is dope though.
The nap. I dreamed I was going to score 16 in the first quarter, so then I scored 17. So I was like, dreams don't come true.